Uh, Good morning once again. So I know that we stopped at we are still exploring the technical measures that need to be put in place in order to prevent internet hackers. Then I would like somebody to remind us where we stop. I know we are done with how to beat lock. Am I right? We are done with how to beat lock. And that topic was, BitLock was taken under what we call data encryption. Am I right? Data encryption, which I told us that is the art of making readable what? File unreadable. And we use a particular keyword, which is cipher. We should remember that to cipher data means to convert it from readable format to what? Unreadable format, which is a good measure to be put in place, which is a proactive measure, a proactive step that every cybersecurity expert that prioritize the protection of data must do. Because we understand that sometimes the black hat hacker takes advantage of, such readable format data because they believe that they have access to the real content. But by the time you have ciphered it, by the time you have converted it to unreadable format, then it means that you have just rendered all their effort what? Useless. So they might have access to such file, but they will not be able to what? To decode the content. Perhaps they are able to do that. They are not going to be able to see the real content. All right. So I just want to take us to where we got that topic from. I know we have discussed security evolutions, right? Are we still here? I think we have concluded this aspect where I told us that the journey of cybersecurity started all the way from legacy era, right? Which is known as the traditional era. And we also took our time to highlight the kind of technology each of these stages of cybersecurity are used. And then we also look at the limitation. Just be looking at the slide. Once you get to where I stop, you let me know. We'll also talk about the advanced structure, right? The advanced security rather. And then we also highlighted some of the benefits. And then I know we also discussed some of the AI and the machine learning power security. And I told us then that this is actually the stage we are right now, where we can use or deploy AI technology to identify threats real time. Are we together? Real time. Unlike the old method, which is the legacy, where an attack must be what? Identified first before an attempt to block it can be what? Put in place. Now we'll also highlight some of the key features, and then we'll look at the final thoughts that in conclusion, security has shifted from static, rule-based protection to dynamic, AI-driven defenses as cyber threats becomes more sophisticated. AI and machine learning will play a crucial role in adaptive security. This aspect led to several explanations. All right. So we now started looking at cybersecurity measure, out of which we were able to identify different categories of security measures. And we said that cybersecurity measures are strategies, processes, and tools used to protect what? Systems, network, and data from cyber threats. This measure aims to ensure confidentiality, integrity, and availability of information. Right? So what is the essence of a cybersecurity expert putting measures in place? It's very straightforward. To avoid what? Story that touches the heart. To avoid the intruders. So it's a kind of a way of putting security check in place. Security what is also a form of setting up what we call intrusion detection system. Can anybody remind us what we refer to as intrusion detection system? Can anybody remind us? No, we have paraphrased on some of these things. Intrusion. Who are the intruders? Let's start from there. Who are the intruders? The unauthorized persons, right? Individual that try to break into your network or break into your system without what? Legal what? Permission. They are called what? Intruders. Now, if we are saying that in cybersecurity, there is what we call intrusion detection system, what do you think it will be? Intrusion detection system, what do you think that will be? Something that what? That we detect, that we identify what? Those threats, right? The intruders. Can you give us a practical example of one of the software that is used today as an intrusion detection system? We all know the name, just because I'm using grammar. Antivirus. You don't know that is the direct work of antivirus. If I ask you now, why do you install antivirus? Look at the word anti. That is what is installed to fight, right? Am I correct? Antivirus. What is virus? In cybersecurity, professionally, virus are malware, right? They are suspicious what? Are software that somebody can infuse into a system and thereafter what? Or therefore corrupting the what? The system to malfunction, right? Now, virus can come in different forms. That is why in cybersecurity, we don't just focus on, but using the word virus is like the least term. Because if I use malware, you know what malware means? Malware covers any form of threat, right? Any suspicious word, item or threats or software. So the primary function of antivirus is a security software. It's our own tool, in case you don't know. It's our major tool because you will not always be there. Am I communicating? You will not always be there watching over the what? The client system. So the way you can set up a system that can detect where you are not there, a system that can detect any threats, whether the client is on public network or what? Private network, even when the cybersecurity professional is not there, is by installing what? An antivirus. So an antivirus is just like a software that performs several security what? Check on the system. It can detect what? Intruders, particularly when you are downloading stuff from the internet, which is one of the most identified channel for system contacting what? A virus. So the antivirus is programmed in a way that whenever there is any transaction between the system and the what? The internet, it uses the firewall structure, because the antivirus also have that feature as an input. Now, that firewall that we accessed the other time, who can remind us again, what is the role of the window firewall again? Because I know we don't read, so we'll be doing the whole thing in the class. We said that the Windows firewall is a security architecture, right? Within the Windows that acts as a gate man, isn't it? We have to even break it down to that level. And where we try to identify the role of what? A gate man. Or the gatekeeper, right? Or the gatekeeper. That is, he checks whatever that comes into that compound and what goes out. Am I right? So now, the window itself has its own firewall. Now, when you install antivirus, the antivirus is also developed in a way that it comes with its own what? Firewall. But that one, depending on the type of antivirus you purchase. How many of us know that we have what we call the trial versions antivirus and the licensed antivirus? We must know as cybersecurity what? Experts. It will look very awkward that or backward that you are employed and you don't know how to install what? Intrusion detection what? System, like using antivirus. Then some organization has also moved beyond just depending on what? Antivirus. They also put some hardware security component or features in place that can always send message to the software and the software what will ensure. For example, the CCTV camera, is it a security feature? I'm asking us. So do you also understand that CCTV camera collaborates with the software in someone's phone? Are you aware of that? So that is hardware security what? Object. Supplying what? Giving security alerts or threat alert to what? The software. Now, we said that the key cybersecurity measures can be categorized. And the first one is what? Technical what? Measure. Now, so that you know where, for those that missed part of the class, that's why I'm taking it this way. Firewall, antivirus, and what? Anti-what? Malware software. And then we now got the word what? Encryption that led to what? The BitLock. But before then, we took our time to partition, right? Which I said is also a very good step to make sure that you separate the sensitive data from what? The entire drive space. And then we'll also talk about the intrusion detection and what? Prevention system, IDPS. You have to be checking your notes. I'm just trying to, I don't want to miss any part. That is why I see I am going through everything again. We'll talk about setting up multi-factor authentication. So we should know how to set up multi-factor authentication on WhatsApp. How many of us know how to program it on WhatsApp? You should know how to set it up on Facebook. You should know how to set, because these are the domain, these are the platform, the company will actually engage you to ensure that they are protected. So don't be surprised they give you the company WhatsApp line and ask you to what? To set up these security measures on them. Then we'll also talk about the organizational measure. I hope you are confirming that. Once you get to where you feel that I stop, let me know. We talk about organization what? Measure. Here I told us that there are certain policies that every company ought to put in place, right? To check what? Who accesses a place or not. Is a way of securing the organization. Access control, restricting access to data and system based on rules. So it's not every member of that organization that are permitted to access every part of their information. Creating backup. Do you also know that when you partition, is a way of creating the backup. Are you aware that that backup is a security what measure put in place? For example, now, why will you advise someone to buy a flash drive to save his or her file outside the system? It's a way of securing that if anything happened to the one in the system, he can always what? Fall back to the one in his or her what? External drive. So it's part of security measure. Then we'll talk about human-centric measure. Have we discussed this? Human-centric measure. Human-centric what? Measure. We have. Please check your notes. We have, right? And I said you have to find a way as an expert to continue to what? To provide security what? Education, right? You have to continue to enlighten the company's employers or employees rather, some latest. You have to give them some security tips. Give them some tips how they can prevent being attacked, what they should do. If somebody send them a link, let them know that they are not supposed to click until they ensure that such a link is what? Verified. Then we'll talk about emerging what? Measure. Confirm also for me. Have we discussed that? Emerging measure. And then I think we stop at this. And I gave us an assignment here, right? Which is here to be submitted. How many of us have done it? How many of us have done it? Auntie, you have done it also. Okay, so I will check it. Now, let's quickly look at cybersecurity technology, right? Cybersecurity technology. We have done this as well. It's log. Yes, somebody was in the class. Eh? The one you saw. Okay, you were not in the class, but you did not write your step. You don't have laptop, you don't write your step.
I was right, so I don't know.
From him.
Yes, and
what will happen is that, like I told us, we are still taking more students into this class. When we get more persons, I'm going to create a makeup class. So just keep reminding me. Once I want to teach them that big log, those of you that miss it, I will notify you so that you can join them. Are you with me? So, but what will happen is that maybe in our next class, if you come early, which is a Tuesday, right? You come early, you can meet me to quickly what? I'll show you the practical aspects. Then maybe if you can catch up with the step, fine. So let's look at cyber security technologies. Are we there now? Let's start writing. Cyber security technology. So what do we mean by cyber security technology? Now, the word technology is very simple to understand, which means what? Modern ways of doing things. Now, when we say cyber security technology, we are talking about different technology that we are responsible, that we use in ensuring the security of what? The internet space. So that you know, as we are going in, that, oh, I need to also know how to secure the mobile devices. So let's start with the first one, mobile security. So what is mobile security? Mobile security refers to the protection of mobile devices, such as smartphones, tablets, from unauthorized access, malware, and other security threats. So this topic is to enlighten us that it is also part of our responsibility as cybersecurity experts to protect phones. Are you with me? To protect phones. So don't be surprised tomorrow you are engaged in a company and they bring all their phones for you to set up what? Their security. Don't be surprised. So do not think that it's only laptop or system or computer. No. Phones are part of computer. How many of us are aware? Because we were taught what? Categories of what? Computer, right? Is it by size? Yes, by size. We have mini, right? We have micro. We have mainframe. So phone falls under one of them. So phone that we are using is part of the computer. So it is also a technology that should that its security should be ensured. So example, how do we implement that? Example, implementing a mobile device management. That is what? MDM. Solution to enforce security policies, such as encryption and what? Password protection on company-issued mobile device, like I just mentioned now. How many of us know that, particularly if you are using the modern phones, the modern phone come with more security feature, right? There are some of them that can even recognize your face, right, as a mode of logging in, while some of them recognize what? Pattern, while some, the basic one is what? Password. So phones will provide you or present to you these three options. Now, it is not left for you. Then I'm going to ask us a question here. If you are given a company device, mobile device to protect or to set up its security, and inside that phone, you have three options. You either secure it by using PIN, which is called what? Password, right? Or you use pattern. We all know what pattern is now. You draw some shape, right? That form the security of that device. And then you have the face recognition. I'm asking us, which one do you think has most security strength? Which one is more secure out of these three formats? The one that recognizes face, and the one that recognizes fingerprint, that is use pattern, right? And the one, in fact, we even have fingerprints as another one, where somebody can use his finger to what? As a mode of securing that system. So which one do you think is more secure out of these ones that I mentioned? Eh? Are you sure PIN is more secured? Let's go there. Auntie, which one is more secure? PIN, pattern, and facial recognition. As far as I'm concerned, let me tell you, password, when we get to ethical hacking, you will see that somebody, what we call keylogger. You know what they do with keylogger? There is now a technology that the bad guy uses. And that is one of the reasons why you are in this class, so that you be aware and then advise your boss or individual you are working for on the essence of using a very strong password, because that is the only way. It is when they use strong password that all those things cannot work. Now, there is a technology that can listen to the key sound. So when you are entering your password, you press letter A. So you can know that, okay, this is A, to be recording it. So I am not advising you should go with password, in as much you have other options. Are we together? So I just want us to know that there is mobile what? Security. Mobile security. So the next one is advanced data security. We are still talking about technology, cyber security technology. Number 2 is what? Advanced technology. Advanced technology. So what is advanced as data security technology? Advanced data security refers to the use of advanced technologies and techniques such as encryption, tokenization, and data masking to protect sensitive data from unauthorized access. Now, I want to ask this question. How many of us know what is called token? If you have been in the banking system, if you are running a particular account, there's an account that you must hold. So now they have it in both soft copy and what? Hard copy. There is a device, small device, that look like remotes, one small device. They call it what? Token. So it is an invention. It's one of the technologies, cybersecurity technology, that was invented some years back to ensure that if somebody want to withdraw large sum of money from his account, the person cannot withdraw with the conventional method. He must provide what? A token, but generate it. So that measure was put in place to ensure that if somebody mistakenly steal your phone, for example, and the person have access, maybe you left your app open and the person want to withdraw large sum of money, the person will be restricted. And by the time you withdraw maybe 10,000, you will get alert, right? And when you get alert, then you can easily block it instead of allowing the person to withdraw everything at once. So this tokenization, data masking, data to protect data masking and tokenization, they are all cybersecurity technologies. And you see most standard organization implementing them. Implementing a data encryption solution to protect sensitive customer data, such as credit card number. We all know credit card number now, right? Credit card number and what? Personal identifiable information, PII. You know, I've advised us some time ago that we should always pay attention to these acronyms, right? Because when you go for an interview, don't be surprised, they communicate with you with all this. And if you are looking strange, they know that you are not in the field properly, both in transit and what? Rest. Now, when we say both in transit and rest, who can interpret that? I'm going somewhere. Who can interpret that? Who can interpret that? Both in transit and what? Rest. Who can interpret that? Where are the cybersecurity experts? Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. How many of us know that data travels? Does data really travel? Okay, you now, if you want to travel, how do you travel? Can you mention some means of transportation? And the air, which technology do you use? Yes, if you want to travel by air, which technology do you use? Which technology do you use to travel by air? You don't know that technology. If you want to travel by road, which technology do you use? Good. Now, if you want to transport data on the internet, which technology do you use? Mobile phone. Say it now, it might be the correct one. Don't be afraid. If you want to transfer information via the internet, which technology do you use? Oh, yeah. Social media. Social media. But you don't know the technology. Social media, you're just like the road that the car is what? You mentioned car as one of what? Technology, right? But the car moves on the road, right? So now I'm asking you, yes, which technology do we use in transporting data on the internet? Or you don't know that there are highways on the internet? When we get to Attica, you see it. Do you know that as your head is placed that direction, you might be obstructing a particular data that is moving from Anambra to Delta State? Do you know that? How many of us, I want us to understand this. It's not spiritual. How many of us know that, okay, sometimes your router at home, you place it somewhere in your window, it gets network, and then you put it somewhere else, it's not getting network. What are you searching for? What is causing that?
Good. There's a barrier. There is a barrier in that particular angle or axis. So once you move that device from there, then it flows in. Now, we have not answered my question though. What is the technology that social media and all those platforms are riding on? Network. Which type is the network? Service first. It's network. And in case you don't know, which we are going to learn better when we get to it, the network we are seeing has what? The internet space has what? Highways. Which means that what? There are different links, there are different paths that information what? Follows on the internet. And every country you are seeing has a node. That is why if US want to block Nigeria from it, if Elon Musk want to disconnect the whole of a country from accessing the social media or the internet, what would they do? They will just unplug the what? The optics cable. Under the sea, there are cable, there are heavy cable that they use in transporting telephone line from before our president, Obasanjo, invented it or brought it to Nigeria. There are some cable that are under the ground that you don't know, that they use in what? Connecting us to the world. That's why every country have their own what? Different what? IP address. The individual that are using computer in US, their computer IP address is different from what? Individuals that are using computer in Nigeria. Now, there's a point I want to make here when we say what? Transit and what? Rest. Now, if I am mailing you content via email, that is what we call what? I am leveraging on a port. Listen. The whole of the internet, the whole of the internet, there are ports. There are about 65,535 ports. And what is port? Port is just like a channel that allows information to flow from one point to what? Another. So what we are saying is that if information are what? Encrypted, if they are secure with the advanced technology, even when that information is moving on the internet, is moving, the hackers cannot what? Trap it. Are you with me? That's the meaning of what? Be safe both on transit, on what? And what? Rest. Rest are data in a fixed location. For example, now the record you have in your laptop, can you say that those records are on transit? No. They are what? They are in one place. So this advanced technology ensure the safety, the protection of both of information on transit and what? Rest. I don't know if that is clear. Okay. Yes. I don't want to mention it. Before, are you aware? All those things that you are posting on Facebook everywhere, do you know that they are stored somewhere? The one you post on WhatsApp, they are in WhatsApp what? Database. The one you post on Facebook, they are in Facebook database. But there is a law. There is a law that binds us, that binds them. They cannot release those information, except maybe they are being authorized by a what? A law court. That is why if they have the warranty, as you are now, let's say you commit an offense and the person sue the telecommunication, and after court going through their whatever, the court can order the telecommunication to provide that conversation. So that is an advice to you and I that uses the internet space. You should be careful your conversation with others, knowing that it can be recalled if there is need for it. Even some of us that are posting all kind of picture, have naked picture. You don't know that they are stored somewhere. People don't know all these things. They just go to the internet and they feel that the internet is a free space. No. That is why this course is playing a major role in enlightening people. You are supposed to compose yourself when you're on the internet. You don't do anyhow. You don't talk people anyhow. Somebody can pick your statement and go and report to the next and they block your line without knowing where it's coming from. So that is just to explain what the second cybersecurity what technology, which is what advanced data. Let's look at the third one, cloud security. One of the major factors why today the internet is more secure, or there is now more confidence on people what transacting on the internet, is because of the introduction of the cloud security by Google. The moment company knew that or knows that, my informations are more secure on the internet, then they stop all these local storage. You go to the bank today now, you don't see system everywhere again, because all their transactions, they are directly stored on the what? The cloud. They are purchased space. There are companies like Azure, like Google Cloud. These are companies that are selling space on the cloud that you can store your information, and they are 100% secure. So the cloud is more secure now than even your local machine. So cloud security refers to the protection of cloud-based infrastructure. That is the setup in the space, applications, and data from unauthorized access, malware, and other security threats. Example of that is what? Implementing a cloud security gateway to monitor and control traffic between on-premises infrastructure and cloud-based application, ensuring compliance with security policies and regulations. That is why today, if you want to log into maybe a data storage, what is the first thing you'll be asked? Your login detail, your password, right? That's the gateway, the entrance. So there are security checks that are mounted on those gateways that if you are trying to go in, that will check you before you even go in.
All right. So that is for cloud. That is the next technology. So it's as if my number is wrong, right? The other was second, right? This must be number 4, right? The first one was what? The first one was mobile, right? The second one is advanced, and then so there's a mistake. Hope you corrected it. This is number 3, cloud security. Then number 4, modern day regulations. Let's look at that quickly. Don't be distracted. Modern day regulations. Now, modern day regulation refers to the laws and regulations that govern the protection of sensitive data, such as the General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR. You know, some of us have been seeing all this, but today you understand what this means. How many of us have ever visited a website and they ask you to accept cookie or reject cookie? Good. That is policies. Now, there is a law. That is what? GDPR, which means that what? Data protection what? Law. It's a global data protection law. So there's a law that protects people's data on the internet. And what the law says is that peradventure you have a form in that website or any platform at all, and you are asking users to fill it. Are you with me? You are asking users to fill it. Then the law says that you must tell them what exactly you want to do with their information. Now, that cookies that you see that they will tell you to either accept or reject is a way of seeking your consent that all the data that will be collected from you will either be used to contact you or to promote their products as review. So if somebody is doubting that the company cannot offer the service, the company can call up your previous comments where you said something nice about them. So, okay, this is one person that purchased one product from us, and this is what the person says. So that in case you see them placing ad like on Facebook or Google, and you see that they mention your name and that comment that you made, you will not feel offended. So when you click on accept, you have authorized them that any data you supply should be used for that which they said they can do with it. But you know what? Some of us, we don't even open it, that terms and condition. We just click on accept without reading through. That was the reason why I gave it to us as an assignment the other time, to go and check. Are you with me? To go and read so that you know some of these laws. Because if you are going to counsel organization on how to behave on the internet, you must cite some of these rules. That, like Nigeria now, we have a law that was passed newly, recently, right? It's called cyberbullying, right? Now, this period of election now, try it and abuse somebody anyhow on the internet, beyond the normal politics, you will see what will happen. Because there's a law now. You cannot just go there and start abusing someone beyond certain, all in the name of campaign. So some individuals will fall victim. They will think that it's business as usual, without knowing that the country has modified laws. You are not supposed to go to the internet and abuse somebody. You have to be polite. Yes. Okay, capture is a security measure put in place to check whether you are a human being or a robot. Yes.
That particular platform where you want to access, you understand? They want to know it was not created for robots. Are you with me? It was created for human beings. They want to be sure. Just imagine you want to buy a product now. And meanwhile, they want to be sure whether it's human being that is buying the product. So that capture is a kind of security assessment. Are you with me? So they will give you some images that, because they know what a robot cannot identify. Will not work. Yes. Yeah, we just come up. When I see that you are doing some things unnecessarily, because they are measured, so which means that the programmer must have programmed some conditional statements that if the person tried to do this 3 times, you understand, then it's called for what? Suspicious. Or it's called for suspecting the person. So implementing a GDPR, General Data Protection Regulation, compliance program to ensure the protection of what? EU citizen personal data, including data subject rights, data breach notification, and data protection by design. So we need to know that there are local, there are global laws that guide how you use people's data. You know, there are some of us that actually, let me see, because this is cybersecurity class. Do you know that if our country have cyber law, there are a lot of things you can do on Nigeria social media today, if you are in Nigeria, that if you try it, if you travel to UK, that same comment, that same way you are behaving on your Facebook, if you try it, let me cite one. Now, if you come across somebody content on TikTok, are you supposed to download it and post it as if it's your content, or you are only permitted to promote it on behalf of that person by sharing it? Answer me. Do you know that when you download it, when you download it and post it, it becomes your content? We call that plagiarism, something like that. It's a law that is against. You don't download people content and modify them. There's no copyright word. No, what I'm telling you, yeah, that's the reason why you'll be sued. They did not permit you. That's the reason. But do you know that in Nigeria, a lot of nonsense. For example, now if you share my content now, I won't be angry because that my content, I will have written my phone number somewhere. Are you with me? Because it's not raw. But even at that self, because I'm still an upcoming, let me use the word artist, I will not be angry because I'm still able to promote, but try it for Davido now or any of the people that have arrived. Use your picture anyhow. Do graphic design now. Use your picture without the authorization. You know yourself. The way you just pick somebody's picture that the person will see, person will not, thank God that I'm going viral. But what I'm saying is that in some country, all these are against the data law. Okay, go ahead with your question. Yeah. Yes. You can sue them if you want, and you make a lot of money. If you tell them to pay you 5 million, if the court go through it, yes. But all these things, we are not taking them into consideration. Just try it. Why can't you just see my picture? That's why you see some person, they use all this art picture, all this illustrative picture, instead of picking somebody's real picture. Because I'm always conscious of it. Of recent now, you discover that, let me be using my picture. If you see any of my advert now on social media now, you see that what is my own picture that is there. How many of us have come across my content, my ads on Facebook? You have not seen my ad up. Okay, you're not on Facebook. So what I'm saying now is that at least that one, I am safe from anybody coming to meet me that you are an instructor, you are marketing to make money, to teach students and pay money to you, and you are using somebody's fine picture. So what I do is I use AI to fancy the picture if I'm not fine as it should be. Let me show you one now so that you see if I tell you that. Can't hear you. You used to see it. Okay, we should not be there. Hey, this guy, a bad guy. What do you mean? Look at this content. My picture I put there for all my adverts. So nobody can come and sue me. Just imagine now, I just come on Facebook, I see somebody using my picture like this. I have right to sue the person. Yes, that's another one. These are ways AI is not helping. Because before, there are some adverts that somebody will say, we need a very pretty lady, right? And sometimes if you approach them, they will tell you, for you to use my picture, you will pay a certain amount of money. But now AI is not killing. Even acting now, all these, there's not AI movie now. So the cost of producing movie now has reduced. Instead of renting all those presenters, those skillful presenters now, a writer can do everything by himself now. So you can see how AI is taking the job from some persons. So let's look at the fourth one, incident response and what? Forensic. This is another technology. coming. All right. So incident response and forensic refer to the processes and techniques used to respond to and investigate security incidents such as data breach and malware outbreak. Okay, so let's look at, I think that is all. So now let's quickly see, within the next few minutes, let's look at skills we need for cyber security career, now that we have concluded the technology, so that you know the area you are to, build yourself on. So as somebody who wants to go into cybersecurity, there are prescribed skills that you need to have. Just is applicable in almost all the courses. So skill we need for a cybersecurity career. So cybersecurity is a fast-growing field that require a mix of technical, analytical, and soft skills. So we need to get this understood. So every cybersecurity professional must have technical skills, must have analytical skills, and communication skills, which falls under the soft skill. You know why? We are going to prove them one after the other. Why do I need technical skills? Why do I need analytical skills? Why do I need soft skills? So if I may just paraphrase, technical skill means you have to have what? You have to have it. In fact, we just completed that technical, was it technical skill? That is under cybersecurity measures, right? That was what led to how to BitLock, how to partition. You can see all of those things we did, they are technical skills. They are not things that you can know until somebody puts you through. Somebody must teach you how to BitLock. So these are skills that require technicality. Analytical skills, you must know how to analyze situations. You must know how to analyze your threats, because you are going to be presenting reports. For each system you are protecting, the company will have a kind of a routine of you coming in once in a while, you brief them, security brief. You would give them updates on their system security, their website security, their mobile security. So you must know how to present it. You must know how to communicate it. That's the soft skill. So we'll start looking at some of the breakdown of these skills that we need, starting with the technical skills. So I will just take this very one, and then I'll stop there. In the next class, I will continue. Let's look at technical skills. So what are the technical skills that we need? You see, when you came, I told us that you see a lot of persons are entering this field without what? Deeper understanding. There are prerequisites. There are basic knowledge that you're supposed to have gotten before even going into cybersecurity, because it is a professional program. Number one of them, which falls under technical skill, is what? Networking and security fundamentals. Why must I know why must I know networking? Because we are talking about, that is why I wanted to find out the other time that, do you know the technology the internet uses in transmitting data from one point to another? We said what? Network. So you must know how systems are structured, how systems communicate between with one another within the internet space. And that will give you a deeper knowledge on how to protect system when you have that networking fundamental knowledge. So understanding TCP, understanding IP, understanding DNS plays a major role. So just for us to understand them, the TCP means Transmission Control Protocol. Transmission Control Protocol. So we should know that within the internet, there are rules that are set that governs how data are transferred or transmitted from one point to another. So the TCP is a communication protocol that ensures data is sent reliably, accurately, and in the correct order. For those that are taking note of this, I say what? The TCP is a communication protocol that ensures, are you with me? Data is sent reliably, accurately, and in the correct order. I'm defining the role of that TCP now. Okay. TCP is a communication protocol that ensures data is sent reliably, accurately, and in the correct order over a network. These are the rules I'm talking about. In other words, these are the networking rules, or these are the rules that govern how information are transmitted. In summary now, you did not get it. Should I come again? TCP is a communication protocol that ensures data is sent reliably, accurately, and in the correct order over a network. Now, what is the full meaning of the IP? IP what? We have been hearing IP address, right? IP means what? Internet protocol. And what is internet protocol? He'll be writing them down now. I'm just trying to explain those key words in that first technical skills that every cybersecurity expert should know or should have. So we are looking at the second one now, the IP. I've just explained what? The TCP now. The IP, which means Internet Protocol. And how do we define it? An IP is a protocol responsible for identifying devices and delivering data to the correct destination using IP address. Let me take it again. IP means Internet Protocol. Is a protocol responsible for identifying devices and delivery and what? Delivery, are you with me? Data to the correct destination using IP address. Using IP address. Like we are going to find out probably in our subsequent classes, an IP address is just like a unique number, just like your phone number that no one else has, only you. An IP address is a unique identity number that computer uses in talking to themselves on the internet. So for connection to be established between one computer and the other, there must be what? IP what? Address. So that is why we have the public IP address and the what? The private IP address. The difference between the public IP address and the private IP address, it depends on the network the computer is. If the computer is in a public network, which is internet, then it will generate a public IP address. Then if the computer is in a private network, like intranet network, like an office network that is not internet, the computer will generate what? Private what? IP address. So we need to know all this as part of cyber security what? Skill that falls under technical skill. VPN means what? Virtual what? Private network. We'll see know more about this later. And network what? Protocol. So knowledge of zero trust architecture and cloud security, operating system and system administration. You can see the reason why all this while we are still on Windows security what? Plus. Are you with me? I told us when you came that this program is divided into how many arms? 2. The first arm is what? Where you learn, where you understand the window. Now look at this here. It's mentioned here. So which means that understanding the window, everything we are learning, exploring the window security feature, updating the window, all of that falls under what type of skill that a cyber security expert needs? Falls under what? Technical skills. So which means that it is expected that as a cyber security practitioner, you should be familiar with Microsoft Windows. You should be familiar with what? Operating system. You should know how to manage Windows. Particularly how to exploit the what? Okay, look at the window recommended for you to understand. Proficiency in what? Windows, Linux, and what? Mac OS. For those that uses what? Apple system. Experience with Active Directory group policy and privilege management. This is a practical and a full class on its own. This last option here that we're going to take one of these days. Experience with what? Active Directory group policies. So there are certain policies that govern how password. You know that on your window, I can program that your password can only be valid, be active for 2 days. After 2 days, that password will no longer work. But it's just that the window, it has already been programmed as default in a way that is forever. So you can go there and say, okay, no, I want to define my policy. So you can design your window security policy. There is practical end to it that we are going to zero in one of these days. Which most, in fact, I can tell you 99%, let me not use 99, 95% of computer users do not know that environment because it has been pre-programmed. We are just enjoying the benefit of it. Programming and scripting is another technical skill you need to have. If I ask us now, before coming here, how many of us have learned any programming language? Oh yeah, now speak to me. And you are in cybersecurity class. How many of us? Hello. How many of us understand at least one programming language before coming here? Nobody. Python or whatever. So programming and scripting knowledge is required. That is why when we get to ethical hacking, we are going to be learning ethical hacking scripting languages that are used to navigate around one of the operating systems, which is called what? The Linux. Then we must also have penetration testing. That is why ethical hacking is recommended, because it's part of the technical skill that we need to have. We should know how to examine the security strengths of systems that we are overseeing. If a company employ you tomorrow and they have a website, you should know how to check whether that website is secure. And one of the ways you check is for you to what? To subject it to what? Penetration what? Testing. You try to penetrate. If you go through, then it means that what? The website is not secure. Then you write a report that after I have carried out my penetration testing, I discovered that what? The website is accessible by what? Intruders. Then they will alert their developer to put security what? Measure in place. You have saved them from that damage. Familiarity with what? Kali Linux is part of the securities, cyber security skills that is required under technical. Metasploits, bomb. All this bomb is a web application for performing web app penetration testing. Then we have network mapping, which is one of the methods we use in gathering information from a known computer. All this will take them, we have their practical what? Topics. Ability to perform vulnerability assessment. These are your core responsibility. If somebody give you a system now, say, okay, this system now, can you check it and tell us whether it's secure or not? You should know how to run like antivirus, use the Windows security features, like firewall, all those things to check, and then give a report. Incident response and digital what? Forensic. Knowledge of what? SEN. 2. Threat intelligence and what? Malware analysis. You should be able to give a comprehensive analysis of what? How intelligent the system is. When we were implementing firewall, you saw how there was a place we went to that helped us to know the attack the feature has saved us from, which we call what? The threat history, when we did that scanning. Skill in what? Log analysis, forensic investigation, and cyber what? Threat hunting. Are we together? So all these are what we need to know. These are part of technical skill that you should have. They are part of technical skills you should have. So when you see some platform, they will tell you you don't need prior programming language knowledge before you learn cybersecurity. They are just focusing on one aspect of cybersecurity, which is an aspect that deals with what? Just policy formulation that does not require this programming knowledge. But if they really want to teach you everything, they will let you know that you need the basic knowledge of Python. You need the basic knowledge of this. Because most of the AI scripts you are going to use to ensure the system are secure, they are written by Python. That is why it is recommended you have Python basic knowledge. So ordinarily, as you came, now we will have redirected you to go to Python class, spend like 1 month there, understand some basics before you come here. But we have structured the program in a way that will take care of that basic. So you're going to learn Python basic in this program. So that is one thing that makes our own program here unique. So when they tell you 600 or something, you now understand why. Because normally, if we say go and learn Python first, you will have paid some money there. Go and learn this one first, you will have paid some money. So by the time you come to cybersecurity, I will tell you just 300,000. You will not know that you will have spent that same amount of money. Because we have taken into consideration that there are some fundamental knowledge skills that you ought to have gotten before coming, which you do not have. And there's no way we can train you to become professional without you learning those languages. So we have factored them in. Are we together? So I think I'm going to stop here so that you can go and digest all this. So in our next class, write the topic down so I will know where to start from. In our next class, we write this. So I'm going to look at this as another technical skill that you need. In fact, this will be the last technical skill. Maybe we should just finish it so that we know that the next class, we'll take the next one, which is soft skills. So cloud and DevSecOps skill. Understanding security in what? AWS, Azure. These are cloud storage, right? So in case you don't know before now, the cloud storage you are hearing is made up of this. Amazon, whatever, AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud. These are the cloud storage we're talking about today. So you should have knowledge on them, basic knowledge. Knowledge of what? CI and what? CD what? Security. Container security, which means what? Docker, Kubernetes, and what? Infrastructure as what? Code. So all these are technical basic skills that we need to have. So that brings us to the end. That brings us to the end of this section. So see you in the next section. So in the next section, like I said, we are going to be looking at soft skills. And then we'll also take the next one, soft skills. I know we still have a soft, how many skill set did I say we have? Technical skill and what again? Huh? I think I mentioned 3. Analytical skills.